Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of Clutch Trick Gaming. Today, we are in the garage studio of Clutch Trick, and we're going to make this short and sweet because current temperature inside this studio is 32 degrees. It's a little bit chilly. I had to turn off the space heater to make sure that there's plenty of clean sound so you're not hearing a buzzing in the background. Temperature outside is 4, and of course there's no real heat inside here. So what we're going to be doing today is taking this hideous little Volvo 1800E barn find. Just did a paint and build with it, and what we're going to do today is a rust painting tutorial. I did a speed paint of the F100 not too long ago, and a lot of people seem to be watching that video, but I don't feel that it's really as helpful in learning how to paint rust as it could be. So we're going to show you just some key points on how to paint a nice rusty vehicle, and that's really all. I'm not going to completely paint this thing, just show you some of the key tricks and go from there. So stay tuned. So, as I said before, this is more of a tutorial on some key points on how to paint a rusty, old, kind of patinaed looking vehicle. As you can see here, this Volvo is shiny. I have kind of a candy metallic type paint job on it. And we're going to turn this into a patinaed old vehicle that kind of looks like it's original paint that is rusted. First thing I'm going to do on this one is I'm going to have to remove what I've already done. So what I did to this originally is I painted it a color, then I came back and I put decals over it to give it kind of a green tint. So let's go back to our apply decals thingy bobber here, and let's remove all the decals that give it the cool paint or cool color that it had. So now I'm down to just the base color that it was originally painted. I'm going to get out of here. So now I'm back to the regular painting area. You may not think this is important, but you need to do a couple different things here. For one, you need to look and either try to find an original color for the car, which is easy. They give you these manufacturer colors. Find something you think that you might like the car in an original form. I kind of like this here, but I'm not going to go with this color completely, because if I put the rusty looking decals on this, the decals are going to look glossy because the paint's glossy. So I actually need to go to the special colors over here, and you'll see over on the right it says semi-gloss right now. I can flip through here, you see matte. Matte is going to look like an eggshell, kind of a little bit of gloss, but mostly just flat. And then of course you have like your metal flakes and your polished stuff. You definitely don't want to go with something that's polished. For what I'm doing today, I'm going to pick the Carbon Kevlar Matte. It's going to take away all the shine on the vehicle, and I really am not concerned about the color of this Carbon Kevlar because I'm going to cover it up with decals, just like the ones you saw me take off a second ago. I could also go with the carbon fiber matte. With it being black, I'm afraid that it could cause things to look a little darker than I want them to be. And then of course any of these in a matte are going to give you a pattern showing through that you don't necessarily want. So let's go ahead and accept this carbon fiber matte. An old rusty vehicle is not likely to have brushed aluminum looking wheels on it. So let's see. Sometimes you might actually see chrome or white on an old vehicle setting out, which we're probably going to come back and change these wheels anyway if we're going to really give it a true patina type look. So it's just something to consider. The wheels will make a difference. At this time I'm not going to wear with them so much. We'll just kind of leave it as it is. Of course we got to black out the windows. So now that we have a matte color on here, we come back to our decal side. And this is where we pick what the color of the car is actually going to be. We want to go to apply a vinyl shape. And you can pick any shape, but square is nice and easy. Now let's go and find a color that kind of looks like it might have been an original color on this car, like yellow or green or like a kind of a strange looking aqua blue, something like that. Well, that kind of looks similar to one of the ones they had there, but I don't really like it. What do we want to do here? I try to imagine if I were to see this car actually sitting in a carport somewhere, forgotten for years, what would it look like? So it's a Volvo. It's been sitting for years. Gray. Yeah, something color like this might actually be something. Well, now I'm making it too difficult. Now I'm overthinking it. We can always change this. Let's go with this kind of aqua something or other right now. Now I'm going to take this square and just maximize the size. Cover up the whole side of the car. And that takes just a second to do. It's okay if you go ahead and let this run out even further. So I've picked this color. Now I'm going to okay that. I like to just go ahead and cut and then repaste it. Now switch to the other portions of the vehicle and paste it on each one. And just like that, I have painted this vehicle an old kind of almost original type of color that you would have seen from this era. And as you see, it has a flat or matte look to it instead of the gloss. That gives us the base for creating a rusty looking vehicle. Now I'm just going to stay on this right hand side here. Again, let me go back here and look at the body. So when you see old cars sitting in fields or junkyards or garages and such, one of the first things you'll notice, or one of the first places that the paint starts to go and turn to rust, is going to be areas where the vehicle is touched a lot. So right at the belt molding, which is at the bottom of the window, the chrome piece you see at the top of the door, bottom of the window, right in there, is a place where people hang their arms out the window a lot. It tends to get a lot of wear, and you'll start to notice some paint coming off in those areas. Also around the door handles, you're going to see paint coming off there. You may also notice around the chrome trim, like how we have the chrome going down this car. A lot of times debris and junk will get behind the chrome, and over the years it begins to deteriorate, and you'll start to see the rust kind of growing out away from the chrome. Also the door edges where it's been hit and chipped, and behind the wheels, right at the bottom of the fender, bottom of the quarter panel, you'll see some. So those are the places we're going to start. Start with the basics. Almost progress in the paint job the same way the vehicle would have progressed in rusting throughout its life. The shapes I like to use most for these is this one right here and the Community Vinyls 2, the one that's highlighted, this one here, and this one here. Those are my favorite ones for doing this portion. Now you need to go find a color that's kind of brown looking, something to this effect here. We'll select it. Let's see, I need to spin it around. Right now I'm going to do that belt molding right there at the top of the door. Now these things are made a little weird. The decal's a little weird, so I'm going to move this up here, and it's almost to the point I could use it like that. In fact, I might. But I want to shrink it down a little bit so it's the same size as the door glass instead of how it's kind of going onto the quarter panel in the back there. I want to shrink that down some and really just give it the look like somebody's just rubbed the paint off. So when I shrink that down, you'll notice the decal wants to spin on me. So I just kind of shrink it like I want to and then re-spin it. and then move it around a little more. Now the way I'm doing this here is just by pressing the RS button, the right toggle. Allows me to zoom in and out. So this gives me kind of the first look there. That's where it's going to start wearing. I'm going to leave that there. And now look to the door handle. You can imagine someone reaching their hand around that little chrome piece, and it wears behind there. It kind of wears the paint off. You can see down in behind it right there. So I can take this piece and actually cut it, repost it, paste it again. Now take this new one and change position. I'm going to move it down. I'm going to spin it just so it doesn't show that it's the exact same sticker stuck on a different way. And now we want to shrink it down to where it fits in behind that handle. So shrink this down. I want to go down pretty small with it. Kind of take some playing around here to get the size. I'm always kind of having a hard time getting the toggle to go the right way. And as you see, as I'm changing size, the thing's spinning around on me. I'm wanting it to be kind of short in length but fat. And I'm struggling here a bit. So what's working? Nothing's working. Go up. Goodness gracious. Okay. Did something right. But not real right. Come on, come on. Okay, we're going to spin it right here. Move it in between there. Spin it just a tad bit. All right. So it looks like it's kind of been scratched away some there. I kind of am not in love with the way that one's looking. Looks a little too dark. It's not going to be worn quite like that on a real car. So I'm going to turn my transparency down on that some. Make it look like it's not completely worn through the paint, but almost. And then I'm going to stamp this one, because as you see, you can see the rust coming through on the bottom there, but up top it's just not quite right. So we're going to use the Y button, hit stamp. Now I have two of the same sticker right there, and I'm going to move one of them. Whoop, I hit the wrong button. I'm going to move it up just a little bit. So there we have that. Now, you know, the real thing on painting this rust, as you can see already, is taking time. The way to really make it finish out and look good is just like any kind of drawing or anything you want to do. It's not so much that you have great amount of skill as it is just patience and time and putting effort into the detail of it. So again, on an old car, you're going to see where over time rocks have kicked up off of the wheels and they've chipped the paint away, and that paint starts to rust. So you want to go down here and you want to put in little places like this that show that just over the years it's slowly gotten chipped away, and keep kind of work with it until you find a shape that seems to look realistic. And again, just think about cars maybe you've actually seen. Kind of think about the direction that rocks are going to come off of there and give it that kind of look. So we'll go ahead and hit that. You don't want this to be too awful big because it's, you know, you don't see it just completely huge on cars. Now if I want to, I can also stamp this with the Y button when I'm in there. But now I've already done it. So I can cut it and then paste it, and then just take one of those, and this is going to leave one in there, and move this one to the back. I do wish there was a way that you could make this move faster. Sometimes you kind of feel like you're just sitting here waiting. let's see. Also, the skew button can be your friend when you want to really give something a different shape, kind of like that right there. Now that's a bit too big for a real, something that's really happy. Oh, there we go. That's heading the right way. Kind of spin that around, move it up. Sometimes subtlety, just subtle things actually are a lot more convincing and realistic looking than some big, huge rust splat stuck on the side of a car here. Like that right there. Oh, wow, that doesn't look right. So you want to spin it around and keep playing with it till you get just that right look. I think that's the part we just had. Well, they're about the same. So I'm going to spin this around to where it looks like it might be realistic, then move it down. I'm not quite getting that exactly where I want it to be. Let's skew it some more. That's starting to really get kind of out of whack there. Now don't forget, you can use more than one. So I can stamp this, move my next one, stamp it, kind of spin a little bit, move back up. Let's see, let's go up here, spin this down. And stamp it. And you can change the color of those too. Like this one will darken it up some. We want to go to color, and then you want to go press X again for the fine tune on the color. Let's darken that up some. Kind of looks like you've got some different shades or different types of rust going on there. So I'm not completely loving what I did there on the back. I'm going to add another layer here to kind of mellow that out. Let's take this and let's run our transparency down on it just a little bit and kind of see what look that gives us. I'll run it back up. I don't want to go too far down on the transparency. I think I'm happy with that. See that area now? From a distance, it's kind of convincing that rocks have just peeled the paint off, but you can also lightly see those darker lines inside there. Up close, it kind of doesn't look quite right, but you get back off of it or you see the car finished and that's going to look good. So now we want to go to the door edge and the chrome where things are kind of growing out from it. And I'll just keep going back to these same decals here. And let's see. Let's do this one behind the chrome. I'm going to line it up there. I'm going to change our size because we don't want this just, being ridiculous and sticking way out. Zoom in. Just something subtle like that right there. You can't really see it very well, but when you do see it, it works. But for something like this where I want to run that along the chrome, I'm just going to hit stamp, the Y button, and then just drag this down and hit it again. And drag it down and hit it again. Now I'm going to do one a little bit on top of the chrome. If I want to be real professional about it, I'll spin it around so we're not just getting a duplicate repeating pattern. And I hit the stamp. I kind of feel like I'm on one of those PBS shows where they're teaching you how to paint with oil colors or oil pastels or whatever it's called, oil paints. Painting happy trees and stuff. Not that I've ever watched one of those shows, but maybe I did when I was a kid. You know, on sick days. No judgment. Let's see. Let's throw in a little spot where maybe it's kind of, yeah, like that, where it's kind of come down a little bit lower. The paint's really peeling off there. And now let's throw a little bit back here on this very tail end of the chrome. But the next real cool trick that took me a while to learn is getting this kind of rusty stripes where it looks like paint has, or where water has run down the side of a car for years and just slowly kind of made a rusty spot. It took me a long time to figure that one out. So what I do is I go in, as you just saw, and I pick this circle that is dark in the middle and fades out. I make it the brown color I want, and then I go to size and I make it skinny. And you can make it as tall or long as you want to. You're really going to wind up using the stamp button a lot for this. You're going to go through here and you're going to look for things like the marker light. And just imagine the rain has poured down the side of this car with it in a carport for years. And so it's got a little rust right there at the marker light, and that rust has started to kind of run down the paint. So you want to give it that look like it's just kind of been running down. And you kind of have to play with this. Maybe even look at the fact that, hey, it's got a couple of bolts there, and maybe the rust is coming down from where those bolts are. And then just play with the size until it looks right. It's kind of hard on this one because I want it to be skinny. There we go. So yeah, we got some rust running out from where those bolt holes are on this car. I hit the yellow Y for stamp. You don't want to make it exactly the same, so let's kind of change our size a little bit. Nope, not that much. There we go. Now let's go up here to the front. I'm going to do the same up here at this marker. Just hit the stamp. There we go. Cut. So I've done our marker lights there. Now you're going to look for other places. One of the places rain's going to come off of is the front of your window, where it's going to come down off the roof and that trim, and it's going to run down the door. So hit a stamp there. And sometimes maybe I want to kind of darken that up. A way to kind of give you a sense where it's faded. You see the one I've already put there at the front of the window, how it fades from dark to light. If I want to make that even more dramatic, I can put two layers. You know, make the one, then move another one up here a little bit, hit stamp again, and play with that until I like it. We're going to have similar effect going on here at the door handle. But we don't want to overplay it, so we kind of leave it light and run something up here. Starting to get the look like the car's just been sitting there. Oh, don't forget the antenna. I'm going to hit stamp on this one a couple of times to darken it up. There we go, I like that. Let's come back here to this little vent looking thing on the quarter panel. Stamp and stamp. And don't be afraid to do something you think you might not like. Come back and look at it. And you decide you don't like it, just go back here, cut it out. Just cut that out. I'm going to put one of those back in now because I really am not loving how I did that. I'm going to spin this and instead make it look like it's just kind of got a little bit of rust kind of starting to grow out of it slowly. All right, we got a little bit of something going on there. So now we got two of the basics down. We've got the rust that's growing from rock chips and junk behind the chrome and wear from people touching it. We've got the rust that's coming up from the rain running down. Now you need to kind of give it that overall look. You know, kind of just knock that blue color down and give it just sort of a rusty look all over. So that's why I'm going to go back to this same type sticker here, and I'm going to make this huge. Let's move it out here in the middle first. We're just going to blow this thing up huge because you know these cars, like along the top of your fender there and the top of the door and the roof of the car and such, they just kind of slowly start to fade. The paint just starts to fade away. So we're going to make this, if I can hit the button right, get the toggle right, we're going to make just this big area here. Something to that effect. Maybe even elongate it, make it stretch out the length of the fender. Move it up. I like that. Now if I want to, if I'm not thrilled with it, I can turn down my transparency. And let's just kind of work this down the side of the car. And I'm just hitting the stamp button as I work through here. Let's see, what do I like on the back here? Is that too much? How's this? I'm going to change the size on this one. I screwed up. I really want to give it kind of more of a longer type look. It's sometimes hard to tell when you've got them so big exactly what it is that you're doing. There's a lot of trial and error here. Okay, there we go. Kind of gave it an elongated look. Now look at that. We're going to go with that. You know, I can actually cut this, paste it back in, paste it in again, then take one of those I just pasted in, put this down towards the bottom, and I'm just going to run it all the way off the bottom so it's just kind of barely, it's coming up about halfway on the car. See where it's flashing at? Oh goodness. I spend a lot of time hitting the wrong button in case you haven't noticed. I'm moving this back towards the back of the quarter panel. Look at my quarter panel behind the wheel where we have our stone chipped area. See what's happening to it as I drag this big one across it? Oh, that's looking good. I like that. So there we go. Those are some basics, really basics on painting rust. Now I'm going to go one step further and show you one other thing that I don't see a whole lot of people doing that I like. And it is just thinking again about the life of a vehicle. these vehicles that have been sitting around in people's garages and stuff, they've usually been hit and scratched. So I'm going to do a scratch down the door, kind of from the front fender down the door of the car. I'm going to take this sticker here, spin it around, and I'm using the brown because right now we're basically putting in where this scratch has caused rust. I'm sorry. And you're going to watch me fight with this for a minute to get the size like I want it. I want it long and skinny. I want the sticker long and skinny. Come on, come on. Okay, that's good. We'll spin that so that it looks like something, maybe somebody's walking past it, or a kid riding a bicycle or skateboard. It has at one point in time come through here and kind of whacked it. I'm going to press the Y to stamp, and then take my second one and move it up a little bit here and back. And now we're there. Let's change the size of this one a bit so they don't look like duplicates. Spin it so they're even. So yeah, we'll just think, you know, this is like, well, Grandpa came through with his riding mower and whacked the side of the vintage Volvo. Try to get those even. There we go. Now what I've also done with these, you zoom in here close, I'm going to press Y again, make a stamp. So right here on that top scratch, we've got two layers. My top layer, I'm going to take it and make it black. Now that's black, I'm going to run it down on size. It's kind of hard, kind of tricky to do this on these, but I want to go real small with the black, just real small, and move it towards the front area. So it kind of looks like something gouged into it. I really want that smaller even. So it looks like something kind of gouged into it there and then started to rust afterwards. It's kind of hard to see this one. There we go. So let's make that real small. So there you have the right side painted up to look like a rusty vehicle. These are just some basics. You can continue to work with this and add to it. Once you get it to this point here, it's really easy to take this to your left side. Just go to where it says apply vinyl shape and look down. Maybe some of you haven't noticed, it took me a while to notice that there's this here, insert all from right to left. Click that and bada bing, bada boom, the other side is painted the same. Now you will have to make some changes. As you'll notice, we have the place on the fender for the antenna, but there is no antenna on this side, so you need to go and find it. Just click through here until you see that one highlight, and then take it out. We're almost there. There we go. Just press X to cut. And of course, this one here, we did the multiple things, so we're going to just keep on going, and it's going to get lighter and lighter, and then it's going to go away. Now what you'll have to do is you'll have to work with the top and the back to get these to match. That part can be pretty tricky, but it just takes time and trial and error, and you will definitely get it. You'll do a great job. And there's more that you can do here as well. These are just some of the very basics to get you started to where you can enjoy making rusty cars for yourself. After this, you may want to go and pick out a different set of wheels, maybe paint the wheels white or silver, or put some OEM wheels on this car, and then go out and show it off to the world. So I hope you enjoy this video. I hope you learned something from the video, and I hope that you would put something in the comments. Just kind of let me know so I can get some personal satisfaction knowing I helped somebody out. If you like this video, please click the like button. Please hit subscribe and subscribe to this channel. We're going to do more tutorials. We're going to do tutorials about cars and games. This channel is all about cars and games. You may even start to see some tutorials on real car stuff. So if you want that, please stay tuned. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Goodbye.